So I'm here with our friend Andrea Lourdes, who I call Andy, and you're a Stoic. You are a Stoic philosopher, but
I'm trying to. I'm trying to.
a female one is what we're noticing.
Um,
And so,
yes.
how'd you get into Stoicism, Andy?
I think that in every path we are like looking for answers. And I was looking for answers since I was a little kid and my family was Christian. So on that time I was totally believing on that. And then I studied law school. I'm a lawyer. And philosophy came into the way, and I start to be more like just asking questions. And then uh something um like life happened like to everyone, and I heard I have a bad time because I needed to have a surgery, a colon surgery. And on that time I knew what was anxiety and a lot of pain. So I start to read like a lot. And one of the books that I started to going on and understanding was meditations. And the first podcast I heard was the Daily Stoic, and what Stoic was like, what is that? What I don't know what is that. So I started to hear that podcast that is from Ryan Holiday, and it was like really interesting. And also I went from I went through a breakup of my last relationship, and like sometimes life is like having too much things that it's that you need to struggle, and it's challenging. And because of that, I like just my attention was onto what is stoicism. And then, well, like similar to the path of many people, we start to understanding that that was something that makes sense. And so that is when I started with stoicism. And till now, when somebody says like, "Oh, Andy is a stoic," my brain is like, I'm trying. Like I'm trying to, because sometimes I think that the most important thing is that you need to the like the, your behavior and your thoughts and the way you are with everybody needs to be like this. It needs to be in the same channel to be like, I don't know, like more a more better person, I said. So yeah, that's the like kind of the long, like not the long story, like the short story of how I discovered stoicism. And now I discover you, so it's so cool.
And how do we meet?
Yeah, and it was weird, but it was so cool now.
What did how did me and you get in touch actually? How'd that happen?
I was so Ryan Holiday is one of my favorite authors, like a lot. And I was just what also I need to say that I'm a Swiftie. I was I love Taylor Swift. So I was just going on Ryan Holiday page on Instagram, and he had the amazing idea of talking about Taylor Swift, and everyone was like so like, oh my God, how are you talking about Taylor Swift on this serious channel because we are stoics and da 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 like that. And I was like, this is like, this doesn't make sense, because something that I have learned is if you're stoic, you don't have to give so much like meaning to something that doesn't have. And also philosophy is for everyone, and philosophy make you think and to start learning things and having a opinion on anything. So it was like, this is weird that many people is like, oh my god, why we're talking about some white girl, da 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 da. And then I saw a really good comment that was like talking about what I was thinking, and that comment was Project Stoic. And I was like, I finished reading your comment, and I was like, I put like, we need to be friends. Like, we need to be friends. And another girl put something on that, like, yeah, I want to be a friend of you also. Then I wrote you, and I realized about your project, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And then you answer in Spanish, that was weird. Like, okay, so I'm Mexican, and I wasn't expecting that. And then we started talking, and then we well, you know, the other like the other story. We haven't know each other in person, but we will. And I think that we're having a really good friendship, an online good friendship of trusting and learning from each other. So that what was happened. So thank you, Ryan Holiday, and thank you, Taylor Swift, and thank
Mm.
you, people that was so mad about that.
The interesting part about that is, yeah, the vibe check on that comment section was horrendous. Everyone was so angry about
Yes,
that. And this
yes,
is
like so, oh, like they were like so angry, and I don't know the other word, but like, if just philosophy and stoicism was something really so serious. Um, so that was like, why this need to be so serious? And like this, I have talked with this with you, that usually people have the like this idea of like a philosopher, like this man so serious with a turtleneck, a sweater, and like glasses, and like a really, I don't know, smoking something, like just having good ideas. And uh philosophers wasn't like that. We have like many the kind of philosophers in on the ancient times, and also like the, I don't know, the authors that talk about stoicism, they are not like that. They are having issues like a normal people. So it was like, this is weird, but it's also fun. So thank you for doing that comment, Jeff.
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And then I guess so one thing that you said that I kind of agree with is you said that like when people say that you're a stoic, you're like, well, I'm just trying here, you know? And that's something that I feel as well when it's sort of not something that you really should even call yourself because it's you it's something to work towards and you don't really know if you were stoic. There's moments of being stoic. There's practices of what a stoic would be. But at the end of it, it's sort of, you can't really consider yourself, I was a good person, I was courageous, I was disciplined until you're on your deathbed and kind of looking back on it. Because, we're always changing. And, if we have the identity, I'm a stoic, but then you just start calling yourself that, and then you just start fucking people over and doing things like that, then it's sort of you're not, you can still kind of say it, but you're no longer that thing. So sort of just like moment to moment practice, which I think
Yes, that was something that I was aware, like um really young of that. And that many people, that because I was Christian, like not Orthodox, but like I was following like the steps of my family. And I'm not criticizing none of that, because I was aware that many people was like, on the week they were like so bad people, and like so rude with people, and like so judgmental. And when they come to church, they were like, oh my god, thank you, Lord, that like that. And I was like, not judging them, but I was like, I don't want to be that example. I don't want to be, but I want to be also like trust myself. And it's really cool, and I believe that every religion guides to the same path, and to be a better person, and trying to also understand what is going on with our life. So I think that usually we are having like all these labels, like I'm Mexican and I'm a Christian and I'm a lawyer, and sometimes we're like having a lot of like ladders of labels. And when philosophy came, and philosophy to anyone on their life, and asked like who you are, who are you, who are you, and you start to, oh yeah, I'm a father, and yeah, I'm a lawyer, and yeah, it's like, yeah, but that's what you do, that's the role that you play in your family, but who are you? And that was something that I was like, yeah, I don't know, yeah, I don't know. But I, at least I wanted to be honest with myself and say like, I'm trying, because something that was like so hard in my life, and I'm still working on that, is that perfectionism. So I was trying so hard, like to be the best that I can in whatever field. And then it was like, yeah, yeah, you don't need to impress anyone. Yeah, you don't need to, you just need to be like honest with yourself. And onto that, I was like, okay, so this is kind of weird, but I like that sometimes I need to say like, oh, Andy, you're stoic. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. Like I'm trying, and every day it's different. And if you're like, I don't know, having this mindset of uh because there is like a little like an invisible line of what is a belief and what is like fanaticism. I don't know if I'm saying that word correct, but
Fantasy?
you become a fanatic.
Oh,
Huh?
fanaticism. Fanaticism.
Yes.
Okay.
You become a fanatic, and then you start to judging people like, that's not really stoic on your behalf, like that in for philosophy, it's like
You do the neck thing too when you think about it.
like
Yeah.
the net thing, like yeah. But that is, I think that something really cool about philosophy is that you don't need to be like that. You just need to try your best and think, like critical thinking. That is something that was like, wow, this is so cool, like so cool.
Hmm. And so I mentioned at the start you're a female in the Stoicism realm. And so I believe you said that there were some interesting aspects of sort of you talking to women about Stoicism and things like that. I guess what do you think is the normal difference between, just sort of Stoicism or like Stoicism specifically for women, or are there any differences, or
I
what's
don't
life like
know
with that? What's
yet.
that?
I don't know yet. But something that was like, um, so we're living right now, and I'm a millennial, so I realized that I grew up with technology, and part of my brain was like trying to understand social media, and social media became something really really good, but also really bad on like on, I really believe on my generation, but I also, for many people, is like not so good if it's an addiction. But I was aware that every time that I was going to social media, anyone was talking about having a coaching life, and I don't know, like motivational thinking and think positive and like that thing. And on the very beginning, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Then I started, and that was something that I was like so mad. So a girl that she doesn't know a lot of philosophy. I really believe that I'm not an expert, but try to learn. She was quoting, I don't remember what philosopher, and basically was something about that. I don't know if it was Plato or whatever. So she quote herself on that, and then I was like, this is okay. So maybe we can. we can still like an artist, but that quote specifically, like that quote, a philosopher said that like a million years ago. Um, and then I start to watch that same pattern on like in how to say, in too much social media. And I was like, yeah, why we don't go to our main knowledge that we have tons of information on that, and we can understand not just a really small and a specific word that brings like the thinking of if philosophy and motivational and good, like think good, and that is the same, but I realized that it wasn't the same. And many women and many girls on social media, because she wants to be content creator, they started doing that. And I was like, it will be like really cool if we understand that who said that and what was that, like the social context on that.
Mhm.
And then when I decide, and you know that I told you that I have a really big period of imposter syndrome, um, because on the 2020 I became a content creator and I was having a good impact on specifically Latin American women, and they were like so onto, I want to know about, I don't know, how can I love myself more? How can I stop hating my body? How can I like all that information? And on that time I was like, Stoicism is talking about that. And but because my imposter syndrome, and because I was watching like many content creators of philosophy, was just men, the one that I was watching, not because there are not women, I know that there are, but mostly
But they're
was
not that
men
interesting, right?
talking.
You were filling that niche of the cool ones.
Yes, yes. And I was like, why? Because you know that when you talk with a friend, like a male friend of any particular topic, if you talk the same topic to a woman, it's different perspective. And it's not because it's wrong or bad or correct, incorrect. No, it's because we we have different perspectives, and because we have different perspectives, and we saw this in our amazing uh club, practical philosophy club. um if there is a woman that have this opinion of anything, they will have a really rich way to see things. So I was like, why there are not women talking about this? We need it. We need to have different perspectives. And it's not about this, oh, women need to have this because men are having like this gender war. No, it's not like that. It's like we need more people that think in different ways on table talking about this. So just decided like really, really recently to talk about it. But the YouTube channel, and in fact in Instagram, is like the Stoic Girl, and I'm trying. Like I'm just trying. So it could be like more fun to understand things, because I think that if it's a practical philosophy, it's because you're doing your life in an easy way, and not like I need to follow the steps and what Seneca says in that time. And like, no, this is not like a religion. It's a
Hmm.
way of thinking. So yeah, that's a long answer,
And that's
but it's
one of
not a
the
surprise
things
for you.
that Seneca actually specifically said in his letters was the people who came before us, or the masters, they are more so are they're not like they don't have a monopoly on truth. They're just there to guide us, but we can always do what we need to do. We're sort of like standing on the shoulders of giants in a way, if you know that quote. It's like we're
Mhm.
using their knowledge, but then we're applying it how we like how it works for us practically. Is that there's still not a monopoly on truth, you know, like we learn from them, but then we do our own thing.
And that's the coolest thing. Because if we are just like a guide on, okay, so this is the book and this is the thing that we need to follow and just follow that, we are not being aware of the background uh, of the people that want to learn, that want to bring ideas in this. Because if we are going to that, there is many things out there that are doing that. Like you need to follow these rules. And I'm a lawyer, so I totally understand that we need to have rules, but it's like you need to think
Do we
like this.
though? Do we? How many
But it's
rules?
like,
What's the
mm,
amount?
oh,
I'm very into Taoism, and Taoism talks about pretty much the more rules you put on people, it's like the less trust you have as a society,
mm,
which is true because you're like, okay, we need rules to manage the people, you know, it's kind of like you're treating people like animals, really, right? So then that's
mhm.
where I guess we would probably disagree because I'm not big on the
That
rules
in
and the
fact that
moral
is
myth.
something if we watch that on um like how a society works with too much rules. Here in Mexico, we have too much rules, like too much rules. And there is the constitution and there are laws, and then there are like specific things for example for penal law and like rules and like the rule and the little rule and like that. So there is an issue also of having too much information of, okay, so what is the thing that I need to apply if there are having like a penal matter, and then it's also involving family, and there is also involving, I don't know, international issue. How is how is that? So there like too much information. So it's a problem, but also sometimes I'm like I think that I told you like I struggle with my lawyer brain, like why we need rules and we need two people to behave like that. And also, and I don't know if you realize that Taoism and Stoicism have similar aspects, and that's like really cool thing. um so yeah, I don't know, I think that we need rules but not a lot
Mm-hmm.
on that.
And so, yeah, I actually just wrote a thing on the similarities between Wu Wei in Taoism and that line from Marcus Aurelius where it says, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That Ryan Holiday
Mm,
quote that he loves so much. It's sort of like it's one of the most famous lines in Stoicism just through Ryan Holiday. But yeah, the aspect of Wu Wei in Taoism is pretty much that exact thing. It's just like the art of flow and the art of taking you know, flexibility and things like that, and taking stuff
mm,
and reusing it for your own needs and means, you know, to achieve your aim. But I guess kind of going back to the women in Stoicism thing
mm.
with the imposter syndrome that you said is, and I guess this is something that a lot of people struggle with. So I guess how does Stoicism particularly help you with imposter syndrome?
That's a good question. So first, I realized that I start to enjoying more my life when I'm on 100% of living my present and being here, and not thinking if I need to um do work for tomorrow because there is an important issue and my mind is on that. If my mind is on that, I'm not enjoying talking to you right now. So sometimes I think that what really helped was like all these voices, all these like mental noise that we everyone have, and we have like past and trauma and things that we had in our life. I choose like too long, like too much time on my life being like a victim. And not because I not talking that there are people that there are victims, they are, but I was choosing like suffering, and I was choosing just like to attach to that suffer that it's different from pain. Things are painful, yes, but when I decide and I start to study more about this, was like, okay, so we are as humans, we are learning. And I don't remember who said that, but I just remember that I read like, um it's great that we went into pain in our life and into very bad things. And when I read that, I was like, wait, what? Why we need to be this happy life and this pinky life and like stars and like that. Also, my personality is, my friend says like, Andy, you're like so colors and I don't know, unicorns and flowers like that. Yeah, that's, this is pink. So yeah, that's part of my personality. But also I was learning with Stoicism that it's okay if you went into pain, and that I was thinking it in Spanish, but it's like the most sad people is the ones that they are never went into suffer and never went into pain. And
Because
when I
they're
saw that, was
avoiding it.
like, no, because they will not grow
Mhm.
and they are not having challenges in their lives. So when I was like reading that at the beginning, was like so offended, like the guys that were talking about Taylor Swift, like so offended, like, oh my god, how can you say that? And then what I was like, yeah, because of pain, and because of pain, just not suffering, just pain, I went through understanding more things about me and having like this grow thinking. So on the imposter syndrome, I was trying to, okay, mental noise. Yeah, you say that I'm not enough to talk about stoicism. Watch me. And also something really interesting about imposter syndrome is one of a friend told me like imposter syndrome are there because something you can choose, and that is stoic again. You can choose if this is something that is helping you, or and if it's something like not really cool thing, you can say, oh, like, oh, okay, perfect, I'm having this imposter syndrome that says that I'm not enough on whatever. Okay, how can I show myself that I'm enough on this specific topic, and then I can take action? Or I can choose to be a victim, like, oh my god, no, I'm never enough, and I wish I have this knowledge, I wish like that. It's like, yeah, that's for me. I did that like a long time ago, and I realized choosing, because it's something that you choosing that was like, yeah, that is not helpful, like nothing, like I'm on the same spot. So it's been present, uh just so my thoughts and wondering if I'm wrong, and then choose not to not be a victim and not like just having this pain, like, yeah, all my life I had this past, and my fathers and my father and my mother, and like, it's like, yeah, you're 31 years old, shut up, like, shut up, you need to start to be like accountable for yourself. So that is something about stoicism that right now I'm still working on that, because we're on this path. But also it's, yeah, you can choose better and be wiser. And also I was really emotional, like all my life I have like, oh, I'm sad, so just being sad. And I'm not saying that is bad. I will repeat again, I'm not saying that it's bad, our emotions, but I was being like guided like all the time on just my emotions. And stoicism was helping me to be kind of I don't know, like just um, manage my emotions and be aware that I don't need to guide it from emotion, I can totally be irrational about something and hearing my intuition also. So I think that Stoicism is really cool. That is why I'm all day long, and you can understand that point. I'm talking about that because I think that more people need to understand it and need to go over all this knowledge that we have, or everyone, if they want to choose, of course.
Andy had a few mic troubles, so we are going to call the interview right there. But I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got a lot of insights, and be sure to check out Andy's work. Take care.